Good afternoon. Max Brantley with the Arkansas Times on Friday, March the 23rd. Well, Donald Trump today signed the omnibus appropriation bill that'll spend $1.3 trillion and drive our deficit up some more, to some conservatives' unhappiness. He had threatened to veto the bill, but that was just more empty bluster from the apprentice president. He wasn't happy that there's not enough money in there to completely build his wall project. He also wanted to blame Democrats. Remember, Republicans are in the majority in Congress for the bill's failure to do anything about the Dreamers, those children who've been in the country since they're children and face deportation. Donald Trump could have finished that a long time ago with a majority in both houses willing to do something, but not Donald Trump. Well, here's news from Arkansas. The state announced today the unemployment figures for February. They inched upward from 3.7 to 3.8% in February, and another 1,800 people left the workforce. They're still looking for a couple of people from the state hospital, a psychological examiner and a patient, who walked away Tuesday morning. The psychological examiner helped the patient away. Warrants seeking these two people say that the patient had been provided some contraband material, an electronic cigarette machine, a vaping device, also a cell phone. A hospital patient also called us this week to say that he'd also received other favors: candy, coffee, drugs, other things, and also occasional visits from the psychological examiner in the portion of the unit where he lived. There's some concern about the safety of both these people. The man who walked away is being held because he was found innocent by mental defect of a charge of kidnapping, and there's some concern for his safety, her safety, and the community's safety. Elsewhere today, it was announced in Texas that the first medical cannabis growing facility there had produced its first crop, and it soon will be available for sale, at least in an oil form, to people in Texas. This is almost 3 years after the bill was passed in Texas. People here are unhappy because the court has held up the award of permits in Arkansas, but we're only 1 year or 14 months really into the legal process, so we got a ways to go before we've been waiting as long as Texas. The Jefferson County Quorum Court last night named Booker Clemens, a former state legislator, to be county judge for the rest of this year. Hank Wilkins resigned yesterday. He's told FBI agents that he took bribes from a legislative lobbyist, and he's resigned for that reason. I called Mark Stodola, the mayor of Little Rock, last night. Actually, I wrote him by email to ask about a rumor that seems to be circulating. He said he'd heard it himself, that he perhaps might not seek re-election this year in the election in November. He says not true. He's definitely running for mayor, and by the way, he says his polls show his favorable numbers are very good. Well, of course he would say that, but it looks like it'll be a three-way race. Mark Stodola, Frank Scott, and Warwick Sabin. Something to look forward to in November, some hotly contested local races. Tomorrow's a big day in Arkansas and the country. They say that maybe the biggest protest march ever in Washington, D.C., the March for Our Lives against gun violence. The NRA isn't too happy about it. They seem to think young people can't think for themselves and that somehow they're tools of somebody else in this march. I don't think those students from Parkdale, Florida are tools of anything but their own deep emotions about being part of a school massacre. There are going to be marches in Arkansas tomorrow, including in Bentonville around the square, and people will gather at 10 a.m. on Capitol Avenue to walk up to the Capitol for a program in Little Rock beginning at 10 a.m. After party in Little Rock, it's sticky, so there's that to look forward to. On a somber note, tomorrow happens to be the 20th anniversary of the West Side school shooting in Jonesboro. A small observance is planned there. It can happen anywhere. I'm Max Brantley. I urge you to keep resisting. I'm about to take some time off. There'll be somebody else in my seat next week, but I'll see you later.